Here we are at Deerwood, Michigan, the home location for accommodations, a beautiful little village in northern Minnesota. The Antique Snowmobile Club of America not only does a winter meeting where we get to ride our sleds, but in the summer we get together where it's a little bit warmer, we get to shoot the breeze, we talk about our snowmobiles, and we get to go to some really cool places. Today we visited with Tony Rolfs at Rufus Ranch and had a spectacular visit. We went to Arctic Restorations, and tonight we're having our Cracker Barrel, which is a meeting of the minds where we get to sit around and shoot the breeze in Crosby, Minnesota, at the Museum for Scorpion Snowmobiles. An absolutely wonderful opportunity for I think I finally found snowmobile heaven. I'm at Rufus Ranch in Minnesota, Brainerd, Minnesota, and I'm checking out Rudy and Tony Rolfs' collection of snowmobiles, cars, trucks, you name it. This place is absolutely freaking amazing. You've got to come here, you got to check it out. If you're into Model A cars, air sleds, this is the place to be. You've got to check it out. Here I am sitting on an Eliasson snowmobile in a shed of 6 to 8 snowmobiles that are equally as important to snowmobiling history. This place is nirvana, man. I love it. We've got Bosex, we've got Eliassons, there are Polarises, Arctic Cats, Scorpions, you name it. These sleds will blow your mind. This is amazing. Home-built sleds, production sleds. They're all terrific, mostly pusher sleds, but this is wonderful. I've got to ask Tony about this one. This one looks like a home built, very amazing sled. Well done.
It's kind of cool. It's got these, so the whole front tunnel moves. So you take these pins out, it all comes apart. You got pins back here, there's 2 pins on the engine, that slides off and you put in the back of your car. But so far it's the only one. No, right now. It's in Pierre's book.
Yeah, it's in Pierre's book.
Yep.
Oh, I thought this was, oh, Pierre doesn't have one.
No.
This is the picture.
This might be the one in the book. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll never see it.
So it's like a suitcase.
Well, Bernie, yeah. He said that fit in your car. But you got Karen's car.
That's okay. She won't mind.
Never seen another one in Manitoba.
No, I think the only one.
After the fire, one thing Scorpion produced most of their parts on the snowmobiles. The only thing when they had the bad fire, they had to buy the carburetors, the motor, and the exhaust. Everything else was made by Scorpion. So that's why in 2 weeks they could get going again. And they went to Edgar Hattin, and he gave them some carburetors to get going again. And so they were producing them back in here. back when we were at the other place where we'll go at the library and stuff like that, we used to come into a room and there'd be, the sleds would be sitting there. You'd pre-order your sled with no windshield, no skis on, and then you go to the back of the room and that's where you picked up your parts. Kind of a funny coincidence. I was back there getting something done with my race sled or whatever, and here one of the factory drivers come up and he had a 634 Hertz. And he come up there and all of a sudden went poof, and going, what the heck? He kept running. He hit the throttle and went in backwards. What the heck? Here we have the design nowadays for after you push a button in the CDI and it makes the motor run backwards because it's two-stroke. Here we should have had that in 69, 70.
Okay, should we roll? Yep. Get this baby done. We'll get our meeting started. We want to go around where everybody's from. I think that's an important thing to do. Dave Gunther, people at LINDSTROM Club in Luck, Wisconsin, way back when, and been involved with it ever since then. So go from there, Jim.
Jim Johnson from Westfield, Wisconsin. Been a director for quite a while. Joined back in the 80s.
Gary Lindstrom, Minnesota director.
I'm Valdy Stephenson. I'm the secretary and the web person. I was the former president, and I'm from Stacy, Minnesota.
Tony Rolfus, vice president, talent for East Gully and Sartell, Minnesota.
John Mercer from Sydney, Ohio. I'm the director for Ohio, Illinois, and Indiana. Past president, past president.
Charlie Ballard from Indiana, Michigan. Steve McLean from Northern North Dakota.
What was the requirement? What's there a requirement to be a dealer?
3 snowmobiles,
Okay.
$1,841.66 and $30 for the parts. I hope you don't use all that money, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that parasail. We started way back in the early days on Serpent Lake. Dick was there, and a bunch of us put the first fellow up in it. And they had a little trouble to start with. The chute wanted to roll because we weren't acquainted with the winds. You had to have the wind directly into the chute to pull it up. And it took us 2 or 3 tries, but finally we got it pulled up to the 300-foot roll. Had 2 snowmobiles on the front pulling. That didn't work too good, so we put a 3rd wide track in there. And then otherwise the back of the sled kept coming up. Anyway, we went back and forth down the lake. You always had to go into the wind. So we went to some of the shows and put a display on, and my wife went up most of the time. I drug her down a runway one day. Couldn't get her up, the wind was wrong. Another time in Alexandria, we tried to get her up. We got her up all right, but the wind carried her right up over the grandstand and the power lines underneath. Anyway, it was something we shouldn't have done.
Vacant property in the 60s, okay? To the north is this long brown building. And that long brown building was owned by Inland Steel. And Inland Steel, of course, was involved in iron ore mining right here on the Carnina Range. In fact, there's a couple big mine pits just behind us, the Armor 2 especially, just on the other side of that cell tower. So there's mining right here. Just on the other side of that water tower is a mine dump. Okay, we're overburdened from digging the open pit mine wind there, and there's actually a campground there and cabins and such. It's primarily rented now to mountain bikers. Okay.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Not Steve, we're gonna kick him out of here.
Yeah, Steve can't win a game.
They can't win. This is great. This
snowmobile is going to go up to Stanford, Montana to Clayton Bush, our director.
Trip to Minnesota and back always has to include great stops along the way. And of course, one of my favorite is to stop in the Nobbin-Way Snowmobile Museum in Nobbin-Way, Michigan. Oh, 3,500 kilometers later, I'm home. Here with my new treasures, my seat, the sprockets for my K12 Eliasson. Thank you to Dave Schultz for machining these sprockets. They look terrific. Can't wait to see them on the machine. Hopefully within the next month, it will start to go together. I have to say a big thank you to my partner in crime, John Fox, who came along for the ride and helped out with the driving and the expenses. And what a nice gentleman he is. It was just an honor to be able to travel to and from Crosby with John. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed ourselves. It was immensely popular, this event. And I can't say thank you enough to all the organizers, to everyone that put on or hosted the Antique Snowmobile Club of America at their homes or their shops or wherever it was. I'm sorry, Les Pence, that I didn't get to see your collection this time, but I know that in the future I will get there. So thank you to everyone, and we just had a ball.